There's a kind of silence that doesn't whisper, it roars. And Meghan Markle, she's been speaking volumes with it. For years, whispers swirled about the so-called moon bump theory that claimed that Meghan may have worn a prosthetic during her pregnancies. Wild, maybe, but the real twist, the silence around it, till now. Enter Christopher Boozy, die-hard defender of Meghan. Practically royalty in the Sussex squad. For the first time, someone from her inner digital circle broke formation. In a full-length piece for Newsweek, he called Meghan's life a nightmare because of these very rumors. And just like that, the conspiracy some dismissed as internet noise suddenly had a spotlight. It was the first real acknowledgement from their side that these whispers ever existed. For years, even questioning Meghan's pregnancy brought instant backlash, accusations of racism, hate, or just being cruel. But people weren't being hateful. They were pointing out strange inconsistencies, the vanishing bump, the folding belly, the way it moved. And now? Boozy said the quiet part out loud. Thing is, he didn't quiet the noise, he turned up the volume. Let's not forget who we're talking about. This isn't some neutral third party. Boozy once accused Princess Catherine of faking. Her cancer video took shots at Prince William's appearance and called the monarchy North Korean propaganda. And now, he wants to be the voice of reason. This doesn't feel like compassion. Feels like PR cleanup only. It's going very wrong. Suddenly, major outlets are taking notice. It's the Daily Mail, Megyn Kelly, even people who once rolled their eyes at the rumors are saying, wait, what's going on here? Like that infamous video of Meghan dancing during pregnancy meant to be playful, it raised more eyebrows than applause. And when you look closer, the problem isn't just about what's being said, it's about what hasn't been. Meghan's had years to clear the air. A hospital photo, a solid birth certificate, a sit-down timeline interview. But she's avoided every chance. Now, instead of answers, we're getting emotional defenses. Boozy wants us to believe that Meghan is the victim of a heartless mob. But not all her critics are trolls. Some are doctors, journalists, even ex-fans who once believed in her. This isn't about race or hate. It's about transparency. It's because when a birth is so secret, even Buckingham Palace seems unsure. People start to ask questions. And the more defenders like Boozy insist we're imagining things, the more we begin to look even closer. This isn't just some fringe theory being whispered in dark corners of the internet. It's become front-page material. And while Christopher Boozy may have hoped his Newsweek piece would cast Meghan as the victim, it did something else entirely. It made people pause and ask if there's really nothing to hide. Why not just show the truth? 'Cause here's the thing, when your loudest defender online is also your most controversial one, it doesn't feel like protection. Feels like a red flag. Boozy has spent years building his brand on outrage. Not just defending Meghan, but mocking, attacking, and belittling anyone who questions the narrative. He's not just a passionate fan tweeting from the sidelines. He was featured in Meghan and Harry's Netflix documentary, presented like an objective voice. Even though his record is anything but neutral. He's ridiculed Prince William's appearance, mocked Kate Middleton's cancer announcement, and compared the royal family's messaging to North Korean propaganda. And yet, somehow, he paints himself as the voice of reason while branding critics as cruel. But the internet doesn't forget. People are watching, and they're remembering. It's the contradictions, the double standards, the hypocrisy. It's all there. Boozy cries conspiracy whenever someone questions Meghan's story, but he's the same person spinning wild tales about doctored royal videos and fake photos. He tells the world to ignore what they see with their own eyes. And then there's the race card, his favorite fallback. The moment Meghan is questioned, it's racism. But not every critique is about her race. Sometimes it's about her actions, her choices, her inconsistencies. People didn't turn on Meghan because of her background. They were excited when she joined the royal family. There was real hope, real support. But that goodwill faded when things turned theatrical. Oprah to lols, leaked letters, vague accusations, and a memoir that read more like a soap opera script. Let's be honest, this isn't someone who wanted privacy. This is someone who wanted control. Narrative control, image control. And now when questions pile up about pregnancy time and inconsistencies, we're told it's evil to even ask. But it's not hate, it's curiosity, the kind that grows when official statements don't match reality. And Boozy, it's not helping. Every time he launches a loud emotional defense, more people revisit the photos, rewatch the clips, and wonder, what if there's something to it? 'Cause that's how suspicion spreads. Not from shady blogs or Reddit threads, but from defenders who push too hard and say too much. The more they insist there's nothing to see, the more people start looking. In the end, this isn't just about Meghan marrying a prince. This is about how she's navigated that role, not as a victim caught in the storm, but as someone steering the storm itself. Every twist, every headline, every controversy, it hasn't just followed her. It's been orchestrated. And now the audience is starting to connect the dots. Every step along the way, from the Oprah interview to that multi-million-dollar Netflix deal, even down to launching a rose wine brand on Princess Diana's birthday, it's been clear. This was never about stepping back quietly. It's always been about building brand Meghan. She paints herself as a victim while simultaneously monetizing the very royal system she claimed to flee. She says she despises royal titles, yet holds tight to Duchess of Sussex like it's a limited edition designer label. And when people call out the contradictions, they're branded as haters. But here's the truth. Most people wouldn't have cared if she hadn't made herself the center of every royal headline. You can't hurl accusations at the monarchy, label your in-laws as racists, then act surprised when people start asking what's really going on. Take the rose wine launch, rolled out on Princess Diana's birthday, no less, and marketed like it was a tribute. But to many, it didn't feel heartfelt. It felt calculated. People loved Diana because she earned that love. She walked into hospital wards that others avoided. She held the hands of AIDS patients at a time when fear ruled the headlines. And she did it quietly, without a PR team crafting her every move. Meghan, in contrast, name drops Diana like she's a brand ambassador, not a legacy. Then there's Harry and the so-called olive branch. Reports claimed he invited his father and brother to the Invictus Games, but he went to the press before ever sending a formal invitation. That's not reconciliation. That's a PR setup. It's a soundbite designed for headlines, not healing. It's the same playbook every time. Stir up drama, shape the narrative, and when it doesn't land, play the victim. But people aren't falling for it anymore. And that's why the moon bump debate is sticking around. It's not just about a pregnancy rumor. It's about the pattern, the secrecy, the inconsistencies. The way Meghan turns criticism into cruelty, while avoiding any accountability for the chaos that follows her. When someone like Christopher Boozy swoops in, not with answers, but with emotional outbursts and accusations, it doesn't calm the storm, it fuels it. People don't stop questioning. They dig deeper. The tragedy in all this. Meghan could have told a different story. She had the platform, the attention, the goodwill of millions. If she had chosen honesty over optics, humility over manipulation, the world might have embraced her. But instead, she went down a path paved with control, spin, and spectacle. And that path doesn't end in sympathy, it ends in backlash. Boozy can shout conspiracy all he wants, but the internet isn't guessing. It has receipts, photos, videos, questions that were never answered. And until they are, this won't fade. Not because people are cruel, but because people care about the truth. And when a public figure consistently dodges it, people start to wonder what they're hiding. Because that's the thing about lies. They can run for a while, but eventually they run out of runway. When every move feels staged, when every critic is cast as an enemy, and every twist gets more unbelievable, then the last. The audience stops believing, not out of hate, but because they're human, and humans know when they're being played.